Kia ora Gemini. This is your reading for the full moon in Pisces, which has got pretty full on, really. It's up there right now. Quite a full on sort of time of it, I feel. Where's my microphone gone? There it is. Yeah, pretty full on, like dragging a weight. It's felt like that to me the last few days, but these full moon times, they resonate before and beyond the actual time of them. I don't usually feel like that during a full moon. Anyway, do comment. Let me know how you're finding it at this time. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. We'll get your storyline out. We've pulled a rock, mineral and crystal card for you face down here that will pull out at the end of the reading, see if it pertains to the reading. And thanks again for joining me and subscribing and liking and all of that great stuff. So let's get these cards out for you. And this is for you, Gemini, at this time. Interesting. We've got some big cards and some nice cards here. We start out with with this decision. We've got the Two of Discs. We're keeping a balance. You might find there is a lot of movement going on around you, but you're keeping a balance. There's a lot of emphasis on equilibrium and balance here in this reading, like big time. It's just holding that, and there's a tension in the Two of Discs. There's the great infinity sign. We're sort of juggling, often it is portrayed as a juggler. And it's the dualistic. We see the yin, the yang in this card. There will be a choice that is made here, or a decision. All the twos are about decisions, but at the moment we're just keeping, I kind of hear that, keeping a lid on it. We're keeping a level of equanimity, whether it's within ourselves and what our actions, or just generally speaking, Gemini, but tongue-tied. We then come to adjustment. We always go through and clarify on this channel if you're wondering about that. We come to adjustment in the Thoth deck. That is what it is called. It is justice. So again, we see the big kahuna of the whole idea of, the idea that balance is everything, and it really is. I mean, I love this card. It's a beautiful card. And so it is something we strive for. It's sort of speaking here of, there's a sort of timing involved in this as well. So we are keeping a balance. We're seeking balance majorly. There is a timing involved here. Cosmic timing, whatever way you want to look at it, divine timing. We've got the card of art, which is called in the Thoth deck art. It is the Temperance card, and we've got this alchemical process going on. So there is a lot of activity going on around us, Gemini. There's a lot of different aspects that are impacting us and that we are impacting out there also. The beautiful thing coming up next is the Six of Swords. Beautiful because it sits in the middle, on the middle level within the tree of life. It is that place of balance, of harmony and beauty and all those wonderful things, And there's an invulnerability about this card, a very strong sense of whether you see it or not at the moment, that you're moving to a far more conducive place, or a more conducive port. Now, this could be purely psychological, or it could be in the practical world. So let's go through and have a look. There's a journey going on. Let's see. There's a journey going on, and the moon pops out. Maybe this time will be somewhat of a illuminating period of time for us. Illuminating in terms, and we get the Two of Discs coming out again, in terms of the choice that we do make when we make it, when we make a decision. Can we get just one more card for that first position? With the Two of Discs twice and the moon. We're doing an okay job at keeping a balance, and there is tension in that. But we are on the right track, dear Gemini. Three of Wands is telling us exactly that. And we've got the firepower to continue. Now let's look at adjustment, please, for Gemini, the great card of the Scales of Justice. I would suggest at this time, very easy to no, I mean, it's actually something that I just hear going off half-cocked, which is about not, a reference to, if you've not heard that saying, I'm sure everyone mostly knows it. You want to have all your, you want to be prepared, basically, for any things that kind of set you off a little bit. I'd say this because there is a process going on here, and I do believe the outcome is pretty amazing. Now, to be specific about that, I could not be, but the Six of Swords is an amazing card to get really at the end of a series of cards. It means that there's a smoothing, an easing, a cruising into a really sort of better situation or mental state, that is far more conducive to where you're at the moment. So anyway, what was I saying? We're looking at adjustment, which is justice. We get the Nine of Wands coming out, the wounded warrior. I was talking about just being careful about not letting not getting sort of overreactive or reacting in a way that really doesn't belong here and now. Remember that there's always movement in your life, whether you feel you're stuck or anchored somewhere or sort of dragged down a little bit. There's always movement, and within this there is timing. We don't always see it when there's a lot of things happening under the surface, you know what I'm saying? So it's just to be aware of that archetype, of which we all have, that defensive, bringing past experience into the present where it doesn't necessarily belong, Gemini. So let's look at the divine timing of this alchemical card of Art of Temperance. There's a lot bubbling away in the pot. Interesting. Very interesting. We've got Justice coming up again. The lady in the red robes, this time with the one sword, just as adjustment has one sword. We've got Justice twice here. Justice in relation to this Nine of Wands. We want to be aware of that Nine of Wands within ourselves, that I think in this Piscean full moon, I think there's a lot of self-reflection going on here, self-analysis maybe. So let's just so we've got balance again. We've got this need for just don't go off half-cocked. Justice comes up twice. Can we get another card for Justice in this position? This is really that there are, like we see at the beginning here, this understanding. There's There is some sort of illumination that's happening for you, whether you see it at this current time or not. With that Three of Wands, we have, with Temperance and Justice, we have the Three of Discs. This is a period where we're moving into possibly more collaborative efforts with other people start to become quite important in our own, and are they not, in our own ability to understand ourselves in a critical, in an analytical, that's a better word, analytical manner. It is through working with others that we understand more clearly certain aspects, of ourself, Gemini. I'm just going to adjust, this, because it's moving around a bit too much. So we have that collaboration. 3, it's building things. We need to be balanced in order to do that as well. That's another aspect to it. We do need to find a level of wholeness. We need to have, equanimity. We need to be, I think that's the right word. We need to, be honest in word and action. That's a balance. That's like having an understanding of your own wholeness. So we're really driving towards that at this current time. Can we look at the 6 of Swords, please, for Gemini? For Gemini, I'm going to... Can we get another one? Look, it's interesting, So the 6 of Swords, all about beauty, harmony, balance, moving to a calmer place, actually. And when we see this, we clarify the 6 of Swords. And as I said, it's such it's a card of being invulnerable. Because, when Lady Frida Harris, who designed these cards, described all the lines here in the back of this image of the swords, the lines are every defensive position that a fencer, like parry forward, knows of and understands. So there's an invulnerability in this card. When we go to clarify it, we get the 5 of Swords. It's as if this is telling us we've moved beyond. This is another archetype. It's about sort of letting yourself down. And then knowing that, and kind of then just being on that loop of self-critique, self-torment. We have gone beyond that. And where are we going? We're going on a new journey, Geminis. We're going on a new journey with faith. We're not talking about expectations. We're talking about leaping off into a new zone, into something that is potentially unknown to us, but we know totally that if we embody balance, that dual nature is what's going on through this entire reading. If we can balance that and create a level of wholeness and integrity within that, we are amazing, right? Let's get a Brian Froud, Pixie and Fairy. This is part of unfinished business here. We just get the feline coming out. It is about a great, going through just exfoliating, cleansing, tying up loose ends, dotting the I's, crossing the T's, all of that sort of thing. It is unfinished business. This is what we are involved with at this time, or have been. Can we have one more card for Gemini here? Yep, here we have it again. 1 sword. We're talking 1 sword, 2 justices. We've got swords everywhere through this reading. We have Sylvanus, this sort of god form of the forest, and the 1 sword of truth. Now, this is a paradoxical card. Sylvanus removes his mask of truth to reveal his truth. And we see the sacral area all lit up. It's about power, it's about relationship, it's about how we think, how he operates sexually, what part, it's all about, and all about connections with others also is lit up. I mean, it's pretty beautiful. Now, Gemini, we'll pull this card up. Ah, that's really lovely. You have to take along with you in your week, in your mind's eye, you have, Gemini, do I need to say it? Moonstone. Female fertility, calming emotions, attracting new love and growth. And this is what it's all about at this full moon in Pisces time for you, Gemini. Hope you got something from this reading. Thanks so much for joining me. And take good care. We'll see you next time. Ka kite, bye.